When God needs a voice of reason, he sometimes sends a charming woman. Welcome to the Daily Devo. I, of course, am Vince Miller. Now, in this chapter, David sends some men to Nabal to seek some generosity. Nabal refused and insulted David. David finds out about it, and marches 400 men to go confront him. But Abigail, Nabal's wife, is going to secretly try to intervene and appease David with an extensive goodwill offering. So let's see how this all plays out in verses 23 through 31. Quite a text today, so stay with me. When Abigail saw David, she hurried and got down from the donkey and fell before David on her face and bowed to the ground. She fell at his feet and said, "On me alone, my lord, be the guilt. Please let your servant speak in your ears and hear the words of your servant. Let not my lord regard this worthless fellow." She calls her husband a worthless fellow. "Nabal, for his name is, so he is. Nabal is his name, and folly is with him. But I, your servant, did not see the young men of my lord whom you sent. Now then, my lord, as the Lord lives, and as your soul lives, because the Lord has restrained you from blood guilt," in other words, from doing something you're going to regret, "and from saving with your own hand. Now then, let your enemies and those who seek to do evil to my Lord be as Nabal." So be as my husband, the loser. "And now let this present that your servant has brought to my Lord be given to the young men who follow my Lord. Please forgive the trespass of your servant, for the Lord will certainly make my Lord's sure house, because my Lord is fighting the battles of the Lord, and evil shall not be found in you as long as you live." In other words, she doesn't want him to sin. "If men rise up and pursue you and seek your life, the life of my Lord should be bound in the bundle of the living in the care of the Lord your God, and the lives of your enemies shall sling out as from the hollow of a sling. And when the Lord has done to my Lord according to all the good that he has spoken concerning you, and has appointed you prince over Israel," so now she is fully aware that God is going to appoint him as prince over Israel, "my Lord shall have no cause of grief or pangs of conscience for having shed blood without cause, or for my Lord working salvation for him." In other words, you're going to be free from guilt if you do what I say. "And when the Lord has dealt well with my Lord, then remember your servant." Now, looking ahead, this is clearly almost a prophetic statement by her. Now, just so you know, there are only a few female-initiated encounters between a man and a woman in the Bible. You have Adam and Eve, then Judah and Tamar, Deborah and Barak, Ruth and Boaz, the woman who anointed Jesus with the perfume, and then right here's number 6, Abigail and David. And of all these encounters, this one by far is the most remarkable and longest address by a woman in all of the Old Testament. Now, Abigail in this moment accomplishes three goals in this encounter. She intervened for Nabal, her husband. She proclaimed David's destiny, and she prevented David actually from sinning. But what captures me is how remarkable she is in her approach. First, she comes alone in the dark of the forest to intervene before a powerful man with 400 strapped men. That's pretty brave and bold. Second, she brings food, the language of active men, to attempt to butter them up. Third, she takes responsibility for her husband, explaining that she should have been more careful to protect him from himself. That's pretty honorable. Fourth, she uses a prophetic word about David's future to persuade him to look beyond this foolish man and into the future, to not do something now that he would regret later on. Fifth, she constantly calls him Lord. Did you hear it there? She repeats that title 14 times, which, by the way, is a title that women used mostly for their husbands in their day. Spoiler alert, Abigail is about to become David's wife, and you'll see that in just a few more devotionals here. Now, this moment is an incredible moment made so by a charming woman. So here are the charming qualities I see in this text of Abigail: courage, humility, Clearly, she's got awareness, respect, mindfulness, integrity, nurturing, and of course, godliness, which is a beautiful acrostic that creates the word charming, if you didn't catch that. So if you are an unmarried man today, you should take note of Abigail's qualities here. I mean, look and pray for a woman like this. She is charming to all get out. And you might find her, if you're looking, in the most unexpected place and maybe the most unusual encounter. Second, for those who are married today, you men out there who have wives, Abigail's qualities here should inspire you to pray over your wife. Pray that God nurtures these charming qualities in her and affirm your wife's beauty today in some way. Don't be the fool that Nabal was. And lastly, for women, this little acrostic here, charming, is incredible. Abigail is a charming woman, even though her husband is an entitled fool. But her obedience to God, I want you to know, is about to change her entire life forever. And that could be true for you as well. Continue to be charming. I love you guys. I pray this has blessed you. If it has, share it with someone else. And I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.